Are you ready to join the winning team? Introducing the new Health Beautiful Body Premier Med Spy Health Business. Our team is of experienced nurses and they will transform your skin and health. Our grand opening is on August the 15th between the hours of 3:30 and 4:30 p.m. You can find us at 2121 Sage Road, Suite 385. You can also visit us at healthybigbody.com. Back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. Your boy DJ K. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show, guys. It's been a great week. You guys been hitting me up, man, in the DMs and of my last guests and giving me some pointers and asking me questions that you wanted me to ask those guys. Guys, you know you can go into their DMs and contact them. I don't really communicate with everybody like that every single day. They have a real life, so make sure you hit them up. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the show, Culturally Distinct Podcast. You know where to find us on all platforms, on everywhere we go. Thank you guys who do subscribe. Also, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend what we got going on. Much love to my sponsors, 605 Adult Beverages, Call Audio, and Red Core Universe. Thank you guys for your contribution. Much love to you guys. Guys, now you know every week we have, I say it all the time, we have a special guest, right? And when I say special guest, I mean like the information that you're going to get is bar none, right? These people you might see every day in everyday life in Houston, right? But you might not know what they actually do. So this young lady, I wanted her to come up here because I actually was funny. It was one Sunday I was coming from church, and I was just scrolling through my timeline, and she popped up. And I don't know if the algorithm was communicating what the preacher was saying, but she was basically aligning the same information. And I was like, oh, okay. This sister right here kind of deep. I said, let me reach out to her and see if she's willing to come on the show. So how God works, she came on the show, and she's here now. So I'd like you guys to meet and welcome to the show Miss Raquel Hopkins, the capacity expert. How you doing, ma'am? Oh, I'm awesome. Oh, you from there?
Now that I made it here.
Well, nobody knows that. You know, we all have struggles in life, you know. It's all good. But how have you been?
Busy but grateful.
Good.
Busy but grateful. My capacity is being stretched, that's for sure.
That's good. That's good. So, Miss Hopkins, can I say Miss Hopkins?
Mm-hmm. Mrs.
Hopkins. I never got that right. Like, it's like Miss, what's like Mrs.
Miss is like, I'm not married. Mrs. is, she's married.
Mrs. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I never got that right. I just say Miss to everybody.
You got to get it right.
Mrs. You're right.
Mrs.
I'm sorry. Shout out to your husband. Much love to shout out to your husband. So, where are you originally from?
Virginia. So
Virginia.
The accent that you will probably hear once I get going.
Yeah.
It's Virginia.
757?
757, yep.
Newport News, what is that?
Newport News, Hampton, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, yeah.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Michael Vick.
Yeah, we got him at Norfolk State now.
Yeah, I heard. I saw that. I had a little stint. I had a small time in Hampton, Virginia. I worked out there for a little while. I was by the base, the Air Force base.
Okay. Yeah.
It was cool. I was down there doing some swing out.
Okay.
Yeah, my first time, I went out. Everybody had suits on. I was like, "What's going on there?"
In Hampton.
It was more like in Norfolk. It was like
okay.
Norfolk. I went out to a little spot. It was an old school spot, but that's how I remember.
Watergate or.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay.
It was clean though. But yeah, shout out to VA. Yeah. So VA, how long have you been in Houston?
About 14 years.
Okay. Well, you're Houstonian now.
No, my kids are. I like Houston, but I VA blood.
Okay. You sound like me because I'm from New Orleans.
Okay.
So I've been in Houston 15 years, but I'm always gonna say I'm from New Orleans.
Home, right?
It's just who I am.
Home. Yeah.
Always 504 to the Me Show.
Yeah, 7x7.
Hey, there it is. So the capacity expert. I want to know because I want to jump right into it because I know you have a lot of information. I want the people to exactly to listen to the things that you have to say. Capacity. You speak about a lot of capacity. So when someone says anything about capacity, the first thing that comes to me is a water pitcher, right? A pitcher has a certain capacity that a certain amount of water can maintain, right?
Right.
And I look at that as the same as our lives, right? How much capacity do we have? Do we have the capacity to fulfill certain things? I want to ask you, define capacity first.
So let me use the example that you're using, right? Because that is how most people think about capacity. It has nothing to do with weight. If we're looking at it from a psychological standpoint, right, it's about expansion, but more from a cognitive standpoint. So if we take this water bottle, right, and I start pouring, if I pour this up, fill this up with water, right, we're going to say, all right, you're at capacity. You're going to get ready to start. There's going to be an overflow. But if I pour sand in here, put a few pieces of paper, small rocks, what you'll notice is the bottle starts to transform. And that's what capacity is, right? It's not so much about what you can hold and carry. It's what do you have now, and how do you allow those things to transform you as life continues to present different demands to you. So most people on surface, right, capacity is like, I'm at capacity. That's what you hear most people say. But when we look at it from a developmental standpoint, it doesn't have anything to do with that, because as life continues to present new demands to you, your capacity has to stretch, but more from a transformative standpoint.
Okay, so stretching your capacity. So is there such a thing as overextending?
So I just did a post. Not when we're talking about capacity. I would say capacity is over here and overextending is over here, because part of having capacity is understanding who you are and what your limits are, and knowing when you should stretch and when you should not be stretching. So if I use myself for example, February, I go viral. A lot of opportunities have presented themselves. I would tell you that because all of this is new, I don't necessarily have the capacity for it. But what I mean when I say that is I'm not necessarily developed for all of the opportunities that are presenting itself. What should I be saying yes to? What should I be saying no to? How do I balance the time with my husband, my kids, still trying to have a life with friends, just all of the things, right? So when you think about capacity, it's like, some people may say she's overextending herself, because I still have a full-time job. Have you quit your full-time job? Like, this could really turn into something for you. Capacity is, I'm tired, but I'm proud of what I'm doing. Overextending, you are more so resentful. You're not necessarily proud of the things that you're doing. You're just doing the things out of obligation more than anything. Capacity, when you have cognitive capacity, because that's what we're talking about from a developmental standpoint, it doesn't have anything to do with that, because you're owning your choices. You're owning who you are. You're owning whatever it is that you're walking into.
That's interesting that you broke that down, because I'm thinking about that. How one is a choice and one is, it's like one is a choice and one is an obligation. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you choose, basically you choose what you
That's
bring.
at the core of it, of capacity. It's recognizing your choice. And then the other part of it is self-trust. Like, if I am overextending, it's because I don't trust what's for me. I don't have the ability to detach from what it means to be a working woman, right? Because you can socialize yourself within communities, and when you socialize yourself within communities, you don't necessarily have the capacity to lead your life in the way that you would want to, irrespective of the roles that you play.
That's good. That's good. You got me thinking. Hold up, you going too fast.
I'm going too fast.
You're going too fast. My brain is trying to process some of this
Well, you
stuff.
started off with the hard. It's like,
I did,
because
I want
capacity
to know.
has it's gonna look. It's not gonna look the same for everybody, right? Because everybody has their own journey. We all have different baggage that we come with, different experiences, different exposures. So my capacity may not reflect your capacity or anybody else's capacity. So you started off with the most complex question, but capacity is actually rooted in adult development.
Yeah. So all right. So now I want to let me slow it down.
I was gonna tell you when I was gonna don't start there.
Right. I started off at level 10, right? So development. All right. Let's talk about development, because you mentioned that, and emotional growth. All right. What is it a difference
So if we're talking about development, right? Just think about children, for example. When we talk about children, we don't just say, hey, I'm going to throw you. Soccer comes to my mind because of my son. You just throw him in soccer. Over time, you have to develop the skills. Somewhere along the way, we have lost that same mentality when it comes to adults. And we think that when you enter into a new career, a new position, most of the times what we think is like you learn along the way. But if we go to the very core or the basic definition of mental health, as mental health professionals, if you come to me, what did you call it? You said DJ what? Because I give you DJ what?
Kale.
DJ Kale. Okay.
Kale, yeah.
DJ Kale. If you come to me, I already know that DJ Kale is here because he is navigating transitory issues that have the ability to plague his mental health. When we look at children, they have the caregivers, parents, whoever it may be, who's facilitating in between. As adults, we don't necessarily have that, which is why we would want to seek out support. But the goal is to help you fill in those gaps, because when you go into a new job, you decide to move somewhere. You think of anything. I think about it from micro and macro transitions. Any transition that you have can affect your mental health.
Correct.
And if those transitions have the ability to impact your mental health, it means that you can developmentally progress or you can regress.
Okay.
So emotional growth, I would say, is separate from that because it's a part of that as well.
The mental health.
The emotional growth component of it, but developmentally, like, we all have to continue to develop as adults.
Correct.
Like,
So I would say, with the development side of it, that's just stages to get to a part of, I guess, the emotion to have. Well, I'm trying to say it.
So adults. So we're looking at from a developmental lens, the way that if we're talking about it from an adult development standpoint, that's strictly from a cognitive standpoint. The way that you know and relate to the world. That can progress or not progress over time.
Yes.
When we're talking about emotional growth, there's a difference between learning to regulate your emotions and learning to relate to your emotions. And that's the way that I like to break it down, because we have a lot of emotional language today, a lot of therapeutic language,
Yes.
and a lot of people know how to regulate your emotions. But to me, regulation is just another sign of suppression, because it's still rooted in control. You need to learn how to relate with your emotions, which then takes us back to capacity, because you can hold the weight of life. And you're not necessarily trying to control things anymore. If you think about it from a biblical standpoint, you have to surrender.
What you mean control? Is that possible to control your
like if I want to
mental health? Kind of, sort of.
You can try. I mean, because your emotions is a part of your mental health, is how you think, feel, and behave.
But how can you control that?
It's like, let's just say, for instance, if you were having a bad day today and you're sad, you're like, okay, I got to put on my happy face today because I have a guest that's coming into the studio today. That's a form of control, and depending on how you deal with that sadness after this episode determines whether or not you develop emotionally or not.
Okay. Why you had to be so deep so early, man. I normally gauge into this.
If you want me to help you, go back to the question I think it was a question about therapy.
Yes.
It was the second to the last question.
Oh, you remember? You remember the question?
I was like, easy to hard type of question.
But I want to know these because I hear these conversations all the time, right? Especially, like you said, these new mental health individuals that come on these podcasts and have these conversations. But I never heard someone say you're controlling your mental health by certain things that you do. I never heard nobody say anything about the emotional growth side to / development side, right? Even emotional growth to the management of it. Like, a lot of people don't even talk about that. They don't talk about that side of it.
You got to understand mental health. And that's the thing. Like, your mental health is dynamic. It's not something that you want to self-preserve or try to protect. If you're protecting your mental health, I said this, if you're protecting your mental health, and not saying that there are not seasons that you may feel like you need to protect your mental health or self-preserve, but when you say that I'm protecting my mental health, what you're doing is you're protecting how you think, feel, and behave.
Okay.
And based off of where you are today, you probably are not going to stretch yourself beyond that.
So is it possible that a person can depict something in their mind, even though they've been through the therapy, they did the courses, they did the work? Is it possible that a person could still be, I guess, not hiding, but masking behind something, even though the work was done? Is that a possible thing? I don't know if I'm articulating it properly.
It sounds like you talking about somebody. You asking.
No, I'm just saying because so when I hear these conversations,
Okay.
people that've been to therapy,
Uh-huh.
I've been to therapy, I'm protecting my peace.
Right.
I hear these terms, or these people are gaslighting, or someone is narcissistic. You know, all these terms,
all
right?
the terms.
So they got all these terms. They got the language, they got the vocabulary, but they still kind of jacked up, right?
I feel like you talking about something like you.
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So is it possible that a person could kind of like have all the work, but they're still like?
Here's what I would say to that. If that is what you walk away from with in therapy, then the tool probably wasn't as effective as it could have been.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Because we will forever have work to do, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think that therapy necessarily solves masking, because that's like me saying that now that I'm in a different season, I may tell some people that I'm nervous when I walk out on stage, and for some people I may mask it. Does that mean that I'm not doing the work, or does it mean that I'm just not ready to walk into whatever that is? But when you start to talk about all of the language that you're referring to, like I'm protecting my peace, I'm protecting my mental health, this person was gaslighting me. Maybe the tool wasn't as effective as it could have been, because if you come out of therapy with language,
I'm laughing because in 2024, them words wore me out. I was like, why is everybody using these words? I'm like, do they even know what they mean?
Well, because it gives context, right? But I think that we have also doubled down on the meaning of context. Context is as simple as you and I are black. Do we both understand what it means to be black in America? That's it. Do you understand what that means? That's it.
Yeah, from my lens, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or what it could mean.
What it could mean.
Yeah.
Define growth.
I would say messy. That's the first word that comes to my mind. It's messy, but it's a continuous process that is based off of what you choose, how much you choose to engage with life, because we all can become stagnant. Good. So growth is oftentimes, it's not a byproduct, it's what you choose.
So by that definition, growth, you would say growth is more of it's a process, of course, but using your word messy, it's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful process. It's like a caterpillar. Or painting on the canvas, right? Okay, I like that. Okay, can anybody? Remember, we used this term earlier, narcissistic, right? Is it possible that I think that everybody is narcissistic to a degree?
Have traits
of narcissism, to a degree.
Because you got ego.
But that's my interpretation of it.
All of us have traits. I
want you to break that down, because it might trigger some people. You're narcissistic, but to what level? It might be stage one.
I wouldn't say that anybody is narcissistic, right?
Okay.
It's with anything, bipolar disorder. I mean, if you having a bad day, if I don't feel like talking to you today, and my mood swings change, right? People could say that she's showing up as bipolar. I think it's just language that we use now. But when we're talking about narcissistic personality disorder, it's a real illness. And in my mind, Narcissistic personality disorder is no different from a person that's struggling with alcohol, for example, or any type of substance abuse. And I see issue with you being upset with somebody that has a diagnosis of MPD, because how could you? It's an illness. If somebody is really diagnosed with narcissistic personality, and that's the difference between separating mental health versus mental illness. If everybody is a narcissist, then nobody is a narcissist. If you ask me, MPD is a real illness. It means that a person really cannot help themselves. Like, their capacity is limited in terms of how they may be able to show up in relationships. And everybody does not have MPD.
You know, I never thought about that. You said mental health versus mental illness. Even though I know mental illnesses are real, but by me not being an expert, I guess I look at certain terms as a mental health versus mental illness. Like you said, bipolar disorder.
That would fall under
mental
illness that will affect your mental health.
Got you.
Right, because we all have mental health. We don't all live with a mental illness, though.
How do we maintain? How can we maintain our mental health if we have struggle community? If we're around struggling communities? When I say struggle communities, emotionally. You know how we build. Well, not we. You know how some people have these groups, right? And I'm not saying what gender, but men and women, they have their own groups that these emotionally struggling communities, right? They have their own little, and the thing is, you're trying to manage your mental health. You're trying to stay positive or stay within a certain headspace, but you're embedded in these communities. How do we interpret or try to get out of that mentally?
That's a good question. So that kind of goes back to capacity, because one, you would have to recognize that everybody's capacity is not the same.
Okay.
Right? And when we're talking about managing your mental health, or let me just say this, I'm not saying stay around toxicity, right? But what you're saying is, you and I may be on a different level. How do I still engage with you without making you feel bad or feeling like I'm putting myself at risk? A lot of that is going to be based off of who you are, and can you hold the discomfort of other people being who they are. And that is where people become emotionally fragile, or we start to weaponize our emotions. Because let's just say, I don't know, do you have an example? I can't think of anything off the top of.
I have many examples. Say, for instance. I'm happy you asked. Nah, I think, like, for instance, I'm going to say men. Say men go to the barbershop.
Okay.
Right? Say they had their household is in shambles, right? And 85% of the men households in shambles. So all they doing is, trauma bonding, right? I'm using these words.
I know. I'm just.
Well, I'm gonna use that. They're male bonding. Just say that. They're male bonding. So the thing is, you have a brother that's in there that has been working on themselves. You know what? I experienced that, but I don't no longer want to deal with that. I don't want to hear that. I just want to go in and get my hair cut and roll out. But the thing is, now I go on a consistent basis to this particular location, and it's all I hear. It's all I hear. So now I see myself saying and doing the things that is being said in the barbershop, right? So now it's like I'm becoming what I assimilate myself with. So I'm saying, so it's like, and that's just an example. But I'm saying women do it also. They go to the beauty salon. They have these shops, or they have these seminars, or they have these women. You're the best.
Or it's much easier to identify with the pain rather than us transforming the pain into something more powerful and purposeful.
Yeah. So how does a person, I guess, transform or maneuver out of that when they're still working on their mental health?
So that goes back to developing your emotional capacity, right? Because if you think about therapy now, it has done an amazing job with creating awareness around being able to go into community and talk and be vulnerable and talk about the things that you're experiencing. That's a plus, right? Because that means that you're not holding those things in anymore. What I like to say is there's a difference between naming something, feeling something, and then reacting to it. To me, that's what I call the survival loop. And then if you think about it from a capacity loop, you name it, you process it, and you build from it. A lot of people can't necessarily go beyond the processing and the building from it because, one, they don't know how to label the emotion accurately. And then what they tend to do is they externalize their emotions. So I feel this way because my wife isn't doing X, or I feel this way because the last time I told my husband to do something, he didn't do it. And that's where a lot of people get stuck because they feel justified in now being able to express themselves.
That's good.
And your emotions, that's
good.
why I
What an offering that. That's good.
your emotions are, it's data for you. Your emotions should bring you back to who you are internally, who you want to be. If it's still rooted in what other people are doing, that's where I would say that we're starting to get into emotional fragility.
That's good. That's good. So, what is the difference between vulnerability and being emotionally fragile?
Vulnerability, there has to be risk associated with it, right? So let's talk about, if you're saying using the barbershop example, right? If this is what we do and I just go in the barbershop and we're just kicking it and we're having these conversations, I don't risk losing anything because we've created a community around pain and or these type of conversations. So I don't have anything to lose. Vulnerability might look like, instead of continuing to come into the barbershop or the hair salon venting about these things and saying that, I've actually decided, and instead of to keep talking about this, I'm going to go home and let my wife know that I've decided that I want to move on. Right, like, because then you risk something.
Yes, that's real. That's deep. So while you was talking about that, I want the growth thing keeps coming back to me because the word messy and growth. Does growth can growth be assimilated with pain?
I feel like you're going somewhere. Break that down a little bit more. My initial answer is yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'm
because
going off
pain, you can transform pain.
And depending what type of pain, is it pain like voluntary or involuntary? So I asked that question. I don't know why I thought about it, but when you said growth, I'm thinking of a flower, right? It takes a lot for a flower to come out the ground, right? And that's to the soil. That could be painful, but to the flower it's not. But the flower is still growing.
Why you say painful to the soil?
Because it's breaking. It's coming out its natural form. Does that make sense? Right? So use the, I'm not trying to get deep.
No, go ahead.
But I'm saying, this is how I'm seeing it in my head. Something will be affected while something else is growing. Right? So that's why I said, can growth be associated with pain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you think about the things that we're proud of and how we do grow, it's not always because of hard times, right?
Right.
But pain is what creates purpose and all those other things. Like, if you didn't experience pain, how would we grow?
That is true.
I mean, I don't know, without any pressure in life, I don't know how could you grow?
That is true. And I asked that question because I wanted to get to this question.
I knew you were.
Are you ready to join the winning team? Introducing the new Health Beautiful Body Premier Med Spy Health Business. Our team is of experienced nurses, and they will transform your skin and health. Our grand opening is on August the 15th, between the hours of 3:30 and 4:30 p.m. You can find us at 2121 Sage Road, Suite 385. You can also visit us at healthybigbody.com.
Going somewhere. I was like, where is it? I knew you. I'm like, where are you
I
going?
wanted to get somewhere. We, as individuals, we're human, right? And we all have feelings. We feel everything, right? Sometimes good, sometimes bad. My question for you is, are feelings real?
So I like to make the distinction between emotions versus feelings because I think about emotions as something universal, biological. If a bear were to walk through this door right now, you you don't have any control over
Bah.
the emotion that actually hits you, right?
Right.
You and I will probably at the same time experience fear and surprise. Like, what the heck? You don't have any control over that. And then that's when your feelings start to take over. I may freeze, you may get up and grab something based off of whatever story you start to tell yourself. So whenever I'm working with my clients, I have to keep it simple. Life is already complicated enough. We're going to work with the 6 basic emotions. And based off of that, we can figure out what's rooted in truth versus reaction. Because once you start to hear a story that a person is telling themselves, that's usually where feelings are, which is why we say feelings are not facts. And I don't know if you've heard of the term like your body keeps score.
Yeah.
Your body keeps score of those emotions that does not ask for your permission to hit you.
Say that again. Your body
So-
keeps score.
Your body keeps score. You think about when you're stressed or whatever it may be. If you're thinking about making a big decision. So if we go to the basic six emotions, happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, and disgust. Right? Once you've been able to, most people will say, I feel betrayed, or they betrayed me, before they'll acknowledge that I'm disgusted with myself, or I'm disgusted with the person, or I'm actually sad. Those are the emotions that hit you to even be able to tell you that you feel a sense of betrayal. Betrayal is more so the story. Betrayal isn't necessarily an emotion, it's more of a feeling that's associated with an emotion. I think of it like the primary colors. We have primary emotions just because you're a human.
That's something to think about. Primary colors and primary emotions. I never heard of that. Primary emotions. And so you're saying the anger,
Sadness,
the sadness,
happiness, fear,
disgust, fear,
and surprise.
and those are the primary
Yep.
feelings. Okay. Well, I never think about that. That's
Emotions.
good. That's good. Let me ask you this. As a therapist and as a person that sees a lot in terms of emotionally, sees a lot, and they know how you have the schooling to diagnose it. How does a person see that within themselves? Not for you, but I'm saying just in general. Like a person might have the tools, but they can't see it within themselves. I'll take it back. You ever seen a movie Hitch with Will Smith?
I don't remember any movies.
Oh,
I
okay.
probably have, but
Well, basically, he helped everybody else find a mate or whatever, but he couldn't find it for himself because he couldn't see his flaws. So my question is, how does a person, I guess...
I think what goes to my mind is if you can help everybody else and you can't help yourself, how true is it that you're really helping other people, though?
How true is it?
Yeah. Yeah, how true is it that you're... And I keep saying that from a developmental standpoint. Like, if I'm not growing as a professional and developing in certain areas... Now, that doesn't mean that I have it all together, but I don't know how I could truly support you.
Can you unsee things?
What do you mean unsee things?
Like a behavior.
What you mean?
Like a behavior. Like people have behaviors. Like, can you unsee it? Because you guys study behavior.
Right.
Right. So can you unsee a behavior? Like a friend, a family member, a spouse, a child?
What kind of behavior?
Like,
I mean, because I'm human, too.
I'm saying, can you
I'm human because I think that people like to, they say, like, one of the things that I don't like in
She
our
said
industry is we like to say that we're really objective. And I tell
Yes.
you that that's
right.
not necessarily true. Like the questions that
Thank you.
the questions that I am asking you, they're coming from, it ain't like I got a textbook in front of me saying, all right, let's ask him this next question now based off of what he said. They come from somewhere.
Yes.
They come from your spiritual beliefs, your experiences, the things that you've been exposed to, the growing you have done or maybe have not done. Like, we are not infallible. No professional is ever completely objective.
I have a lot of friends that's in that field, and I can't have a conversation with them because it's like they're like muted to real life, and it's like I don't even want to even have the energy to. I don't have the capacity.
I don't know why I can imagine this conversation.
Because it's just I don't know. It's just weird because I ask that because every time I
treat
ask
the education like facts, like the things that they know like facts.
I'm like, this is real life. You deal with real people. I understand you have the schooling, but everybody is not a diagnosis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
well, life isn't a problem to solve, and I think that's what a lot of people do today. But again, I would go back and say that we all have different experiences, so the way that we may interpret information is not the same. Here's some things that I would tell you. The definition of mental health that is currently out there is inaccurate.
Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you said.
Research does not support it. Research does not support a lot of the tools that are being used. It's not supported at all.
Look,
there is a such thing as universal truths. There's a such thing as universal truths.
These podcasts and these self educated therapists, nobody got licenses, nobody went to the school.
Yeah, they did.
They just got a mic and say this is what it is. I'm like,
some of that is true too.
And a lot of these people believe that stuff, man. They don't fact check, you know.
Well, that's the thing, because it's science. Depending on what it is that you want to research, you can find truth in that. And if I decide that I want to challenge, I can find truth in that too.
Yeah.
But there are some universal truths. If you are a human, you are bound to experience pain. Growth will not happen without any friction. Those are the things that you expect. I think that we have gotten into a lot of oversimplification, saying stuff like, oh, if you're this way, it's because your mom did this or somebody didn't show you love. And humans are not that simple. We're more complex than that.
Does everything result in a mental health counselor? Does everything that we do in terms of behavior, do we need one, basically? Because I didn't believe in mental health for a long time.
I don't think it's so much I don't think it has anything to do with you needing a mental health professional. It's, do you have the capacity to seek out and ask for support if you feel like you can't do it on your own?
Okay.
And that could be the church, it could be a friend, it could be a therapist, people within your community.
I asked that question because back in the day, I don't know how old you are. You look pretty young, but back in the day, we had tough love, what they call tough love, and we had to do certain things that was, the people that came before us was super strict, but it all was a lesson learned at the end of the day, right? And we turned out how we are. The thing is now, these kids are not learning lessons. Mm-hmm. It's like they're just going through the process, and when a trial or when I'm gonna use an old term, a tribulation come,
trials and
tribulations, right? When them come, they be like, "What is this? I don't know what this is. I never experienced this type of struggle."
The difference, right? The older generations had mental capacity. You think about it from this standpoint. Make a way out of no way. Mm-hmm. The ability to laugh when you're sitting in pain. The downside to it is they did suppress their emotions. So you have to have a balance between the emotional and the mental component. And today we've doubled down on the emotional aspect of it, and we've left out the mental aspect of things. And you need a good balance of both. We've just put too much weight on the emotional side of it. You just need to understand what your emotions are telling you. It's data. It's information. That's it. It's data. It's information.
Yeah, that's good, because as a black man in 2025, I think that therapy is important, but I think struggle is better. I think we have to struggle. Not, I can say struggle. That's a bad term. I think we should have some type of
Well, life is going to present struggles, right?
I don't
What
want to
was
use
it?
struggle because it's like a negative word. I want to use like a like
Opportunities,
oh
challenges.
challenges. Life is going to challenge you,
Hmm.
and the thing is, in order to overcome that challenge, you got to get over that mountain. It's like working out.
Hmm.
If you
Well, it's a
cry,
muscle. Your mental health is, you think about your mental health as
right,
a muscle
you
too.
build that
Yeah.
muscle, and that muscle tears down. But when it comes back, it's stronger than it was. But
People hate that messaging though.
but that's what we need as people, especially in our community. I'm just saying, but that's a whole nother thing.
But
But
why you say that?
no, we do
Now I'm
because
curious.
not because in a black community, I think we grab hold to what makes us feel good, right, for the moment. So we wishy washy. So it's like this makes me feel good. I'm gonna go to this church. Or he said something. I'm gonna go to this church. Or I went to this gym. Or she said something. Or he said something that hurt my feelings. I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, suck that up, man.
I actually think that the mental health conversations for our community can actually be very dangerous to us.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
How so?
Because I think that it sends, that's where the oversimplification comes in, right? Because it sends almost like this distorted reality that the world is supposed to see you. And I think that part of understand, and it's not even just about being black. It's because there's so many classes
Yes.
now. I mean, it's it's all of the things now, right? But people don't owe you anything, and I think that the more that you continue to fight for that, the more that you pull yourself from internal liberation. And I think that for us, if you don't understand mental health and really take advantage of the resources that are available to us and learn how to use it in a way that translates over to wisdom, is that there's this black psychologist that I love. He says that information isn't always knowledge and knowledge isn't always wisdom. Like, it does you no good to have resources and not know how to use them. And research would tell you that if you don't know how to use a tool effectively, then it's no longer, the utilization of it is no longer beneficial to you. So
That is
if we
true.
start using mental health conversations and language, or the tools like boundaries and all those other things. For example, I always say, like, boundaries cannot be a substitute for self-trust. To me, when I think of boundaries, I think of like when you're growing up and your mom would be like, because I said so.
Right.
We've been doing boundaries, right? But we just didn't have language for it. But now today, the way that people use boundaries, it's less self-trust. And I think when you start to think about the things that you may be presented with, you can't afford not to trust who you are.
That's good. So you think we lack self-discipline? More self-discipline? That's why it's that way?
That blacks lack, we.
Well, I'm saying people. I ain't gonna label it as a gender. I mean, as
No,
a
I just
class
think that the conversations around mental health has challenged what it takes in order to live a meaningful life.
Okay.
I think that life will present like gradual opportunities for you to grow, right? Life will present gradual opportunities for you to grow, and then life will present challenges that you could have never seen coming. Like, that's the balance of having challenges that you expect to impact your mental health versus having challenges that you don't even expect to have an impact on your mental health.
I want to go back to the very beginning. The first question I asked you about capacity. Is it possible that a person could expand their capacity? And if so, how?
It's all going to be based off of the individual, right?
Okay.
And I want to be inclusive of people in general, because for people that do live with mental illness, I give an example. I had a client that lived with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Successful on paper, family, wife, kid, stable job, and then maybe they have episodes that would challenge all of those things. Their capacity may not be the same as ours, but when you talk about, are they functioning at a very high level based off of what they live with? Yes, absolutely. Now, if you take me or you and put us in that same situation, and we're having those episodes, which I would probably refer to as emotional fragility, because we haven't necessarily learned how to relate to our emotions, then yes, there's opportunity for you to expand your capacity. So I think it's understanding that your capacity, depending on your situation, will look differently, and it's based off of seasons that we're in too, because I would be lying if I told you that I've never went into self-protection mode.
Okay. Okay. I asked that question because I see it's a state of emergency right now in our community in terms of dating, in terms of relationship, in terms of communication, in terms of just simple love, right? Towards each other, like we used to have back in the day, you know? Hi, Ms. Jones, how you doing? Open the door. We have this term that we call YNs, right? Right? You familiar with this term?
Yeah.
And I have conversations with these young kids, man, and they're oblivious. When I was younger, I was oblivious, but it's like a blank slate. It's like it's a blank sheet of paper and it's one sentence on it. We had some sentences, but it was all blurred and scattered. You know, we just had to put it together. These kids got one sentence. So I asked that question: how do we, as I guess elder statesmen, try to educate, not even educate, but help these kids, not even that, but help us
Well,
in
I
situations like
think
this.
the therapy. It's the therapist coming out of me. You have to be willing to acknowledge and validate that times have changed.
Okay.
Right? Like, we didn't have social media. We didn't have all of the access that the generations have today. And because of that, I think that that's where it becomes a greater need for capacity, because where you could probably wing it before and you could sort of push through, you can't push through in today's times. You actually have to develop people in order to keep up with life's demands at this point. And I think that when you start to think about it from that perspective, it means that it's not just a simple conversation and saying, hey, you need to do better. It's, can you identify the gaps within these children from a skill set perspective that we're needing to develop?
They have no skill set. They don't have nothing. I'm not saying they don't have nothing.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but you
it's
have
like,
to develop those things. Like, and it's not going to happen just with tough love, because that's the other side of it. If you lean so much into tough love, like, the whole purpose of us in expanding the conversations around mental health goes null and void. So there's still a place for mental health conversations, because when I think about mental health, I think about mental health from an optimization standpoint.
Okay.
Like, how do I continue to move in a way to where I can continue to optimize this system?
Correct.
Right? And if you're thinking about it from that perspective, it's the children, they need all of the things. They don't need a whole lot of coddling, but they also don't need a whole lot of tough love. And that's the same for adults. Like, there has to be a healthy balance of all of the things.
That's good. That's good. You know, I appreciate you coming up here with this information. I'm thinking about that. You know, I'm going to go home today and think about the capacity, what I have a capacity for and what I don't have a capacity for.
And then when you think about it, though, you got to ask yourself the question, though, who am I and who is it that I'm trying to become?
Yeah.
Because every time you say you don't have the capacity for something, just say, who am I? And who am I trying to become?
I'm thinking about that.
Right. Because then it makes you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time you say, I don't have the capacity for this, okay, who
But
am
you know,
I?
that ego always comes into play sometimes. It always slips in and be like, you know what, you the man. And be like, hold on.
That's why those two questions are still, they didn't ask somebody else.
That's good, though. So what are the two questions if you ask yourself, do I have the capacity?
If you're saying that I don't have the capacity.
I don't. Okay.
Right? Who am I currently and who am I trying to become? Because that's the distinction between your current level of capacity and probably what you're needing to develop into. And that also supports growth, right?
Yes. That's good. So let's talk about you. Since you gave us all this information, and I'm gonna go back and forth with this episode in terms of just to look at it, just to.
You ain't had nothing on that phone to say. Ask her any personal questions. No, I'm just.
Well, that's not a personal question. It's more. I'm saying because I wanted to ask you with what you got going on right now in your life. You said that you went viral and then all these opportunities came, and you mentioned something earlier that you don't have the capacity. It's great that opportunities are presenting themselves, but you don't have the capacity, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you about purpose. Mm-hmm. Purpose and capacity, because what God has for you, I'm about to preach right now.
Go ahead.
What God has for you, we don't know. Right? You think you don't have the capacity, but
so let me explain that a little bit, right?
Okay.
So if you go back to February, I had 3,000 followers. Today I have 420 plus thousand followers. Mm-hmm. When I say I didn't have the capacity, what I'm saying is 3,000 followers versus 400,000 followers. The difference is, so I tell you, when I first went viral, people were like, because even though you say you don't read the comments, I do look at the comments.
Okay.
Right? What kind of therapist is this? Who would say, why would a therapist say something like this? She is not compassionate. She's not empathetic. My fragility shows up, right? Not necessarily because I'm emotionally fragile, but everything that's being presented to me right now is new. So I'm like, you right. I ain't that kind of therapist.
Oh, you responded. You responded to.
I
ain't responded to the comment. I ain't doing.
But then when you go back to capacity, who am I? Who am I trying to become? I want to fully engage with life, and I didn't like the way that I felt by responding to each person, and I think that is what comes with. If we're talking about purpose and being in alignment with God, some of that comes with the process. And to me, it's not so much about trolls. It's about, do you have the capacity to be misunderstood?
That's good.
It ain't nothing. It don't have anything to do with trolls or people just want to be negative. Like, that's life. Like,
yeah, that's part of it.
My journey has nothing to do with the people that disagree with what I'm saying on social media. It's more about, can you continue to walk this walk when there are going to be a lot of people that support you, but when the noise gets very loud and there are people that don't understand you, they don't know your character, they don't know how passionate you are about helping people, they don't even know your story, because that's the other thing. People say, oh, she ain't been through nothing, she must not know what it's like to experience trauma. Can you continue to walk your walk without feeling like you have to like explain to people so that they can understand you? So when I say I lack the capacity, like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is very new for me. So that's one piece of it. And I think I do, because the other day someone was like, you're over explaining yourself in the comments. No, I don't think it's about over explaining. There are a lot of people that are curious about what I'm saying. Absolutely. I have the capacity to take the time to talk to people that are willing to learn. And I have the discernment to decide that maybe your intentions are not in the right place and I won't engage in that comments. But I engage in the comments. But when I first started, I was like, I'm going to block this person.
Oh, you were blocking them.
Yeah, I'm not going to block this person.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to do this. But it didn't feel right to who I am, because you can't go around blocking everybody. And what I've noticed is the more that I have put less emphasis on blocking people, I don't see a lot of negativity anymore.
Right.
Because you can't attract what's not necessarily in you. But when I first went viral, I didn't have the skill set to handle what was going to get thrown back at me. I didn't know that when I went on certain podcasts that they would position the storyline in a way that would not present me in the best light. Like I mean, there's no way that I could have known, right? So it's like, now that you have this information, who are you currently?
Yeah.
Who do you want to become?
So it's a song that, while you're talking, it's a song that, it's an old song. My grandmother plays all the time, what used to play. It's basically saying, He's preparing me by Daryl Coley, by things that I cannot handle. Yeah. Right? For things that I cannot handle. Yeah. Nor can I see. Yeah. I don't know but He's preparing me for that, right? So it's your position right now. Well, let me say this: your steps are being ordered, right? So purpose, sometimes we don't understand it, right? But what you got going on. I'm not answering them comments ever, because the thing is, you don't know if that's a bot. You don't know if that's a real person. And then,
well, it's not about that for me, right? Because there are so many other people that read the comments. Like, I'm just trying to steward my gift. I don't have time to worry about.
But you're doing your part though. Once you do your part, you did your part.
But I do feel like that's why I say, who am I and who do I want to become? When I say that I want to engage fully with life, like I mean that, and part of that is engaging fully with social media. Like social media ain't gonna run me away. Like I'm cool with it. Like I think that. No differently from like the woes that come with being a parent, being a wife. Like social media has its woes as well. Like I want to engage fully with all of it.
Yeah.
Like I just do.
That's good. That's good. So you have a plan?
Nope. I don't. I mean, I don't. I think that for me,
it's coming. It's coming.
I think. I mean, it is.
If you want it or not, it's coming.
It's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
You got 412,000 followers.
It's here. I don't think I'm not so attached to the outcome. Like if today were my last day, I would be good. I mean, I would do nothing. Don't happen when I walk.
Because I'm going to give you the story about
But I'm just saying, like, if today, like, I feel good about how I've shown up in the world. Like, I've answered the calling that I feel like God has had on my life.
Okay.
And I think that the calling started with putting the messaging out there and not watering it down.
Yeah.
And now I'm just continuing to wait for the instructions while also paying attention to the areas where I don't have the capacity. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was like, "Girl, you have grown so fast." And I was like, "No, I didn't. I've been doing this since like 2019."
But the world just seeing you now.
Well, I was just going back to my beliefs, right? I was listening to what she was saying, and what I heard her say was dismissing all of the work that I've done up until this point.
Okay.
Right? Versus when you start to understand, like if you, from a spiritual standpoint, you think about the story of Peter when he tells God that I've been working all day trying to catch fish, and God said, go deeper into the water. And when he took the instruction, and immediate abundance came. Mm-hmm. That's been my story. In 2019, it was me trying to do it my way. And I think that is also a part of the process, throwing spaghetti on the wall. But when I clearly followed the assignment, when I said on February 15th, I'm going to post the video and I'm not going to water down the messaging, by the time I got to work, I was at 100,000 followers from, like, and to me, that's all God.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
So I'm paying attention to the areas where, because even again, like when my friend made this comment that, like, girl, you are growing really fast. And I'm like, no, I'm not. To me, it's like you're dismissing the work that I've been doing for so long, right? And we're trying to say one video made me go viral. And then I was like, oh. From a spiritual standpoint, that is also me developing my capacity. So same thing. Who are you? It's like, well, do you want to continue to receive the credit for what's happening in your life? Or are you going to continue to give the credit to God in this sense?
That's good. That's good. But the first thing, you acknowledge it. That's one. Mm-hmm. You saw it, you acknowledge it, and you realize, okay, this is what I'm doing because this is what I'm obedient to.
Yes.
I'm obedient to this. Mm-hmm. I know it wasn't me, because some people say, oh, yeah, that was me. You know me.
I felt it, though. Like, I wanted to say it, but I know that it's not, which is why I can confidently say that I don't know what's next. Like, I could jump on all of the opportunities that are being presented, but I'm settled. Like,
and you're being obedient to what your authentic purpose was when you posted that first video, right? So your intentions are good. Yeah, your intentions are good. You don't have cruel intentions to where that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to preach. I've been preaching all day. I'm right to Sunday. So anyway, how can the people get in touch with you? Because I'm pretty sure you still have clients, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
So I don't know.
I'm not taking any.
You're not taking no clients?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, this is the free game. She gave you free game on the show, so you know what I'm saying. Mm-mm. So how can they get in contact with you for opportunities, engagements, speaking opportunities, guest hosts? Because I can see you on The View. What's the other one? The Talk, I think. Jennifer Hudson.
However God lets it
what's the lady with the short hair? Tamara Hall. I can see you on there. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Maybe God want me to have my own show.
Oh, that too?
I don't know.
You should. I think you
I
should.
don't know. Like, I'm really open. Like, I'm
Look.
not attached
Look.
to anything. I'm not attached. I'm really, really open.
I think you should.
Yeah.
That's just me, but you know.
We'll see when the opportunities
Yeah.
present. If it feels right.
Because we need it. We as a people, we need information, and we need the people that are authentic in this purpose and living in purpose. Because the way the world is operating, the way politics are designed, the way our youth is not handling what they're supposed to handle, the way relationships are, the way we are communicating, it's horrible. It's right now we're in like a discourse right now. It's filthy. So we need people like you to continue to spread a positive message. You know what I'm saying? Because I said this a while back. I was at a dinner party and I wanted to be deep, so I couldn't find nothing. I said, when God,
Let me see how deep it is.
I said, when God created light, the darkness could not comprehend it. And that's all I said. And I kept it at that. And I was like, yeah. Hey. So I'm saying that to say the darkness cannot comprehend the light. Right? So once you click on the switch, the light, all the darkness goes away. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that's what it was. I gave y'all a little. I might start me a little church here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, man up.
Pass the plate.
Yeah, there it is. So do you want to give your social media out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Raquel, the capacity expert. There are a few underscores under there, but I think if you put my name in there, it's RAQUEL or capacity expert. You'll be able to find me.
Okay.
And that's on Instagram.
Okay. Are you on Facebook or YouTube?
I keep Facebook for my family.
Okay.
Like just like family and
like
friends.
personal stuff.
Yeah.
I got you.
Even though I don't post, and I'm on TikTok too, but the same name.
Okay. Raquel, the capacity expert.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all make sure that y'all go hit her up. I guess this was God designed, you know, how she came on the show. I don't know, you know, God is awesome. This was a great show. The information that you gave is going to help a lot of people. I know that for a fact. I'm glad you came up. Anytime you want to come up, holler at me.
All right.
It's all good. Thank you again. So, guys, once again, shout out to my sponsors, 605 Adult Beverages, Red Core Universe, Call Audio, man. Thank you guys, man, who tuned in the show. You already know what it is. I said DJ KO at the beginning of the show. I forgot I changed my name, Black Adam. So I had Black Adam. Much love to you guys. I thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend what we got going on. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming on and spreading the good news. And we about to go have laughs up, all right? So guys, we got to get out of here, man. Look, I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Peace.